Happy Saturday, everybody. This is the Uncanny Omar. I am joined with this lovely lady right here. It's the astonishing Melanie, my wife,
Oh,
and
I thought you were talking about me.
this fine looking gentleman right down there, Dan without fear. You got a whole new area. You're back upstairs in the what was that called? What was it? What we used to call it?
The
The
loft?
Loft.
The
Yeah, this
loft.
is where we used to record about heroes until
That
we.
was so
Uh,
fun.
yeah, I was actually looking at those archives the other day. We've got like 100+ episodes that we could put somewhere.
Wow. And we'd sit around the floor. Right? We
Yeah,
just sit on the
yeah,
floor
yeah.
in
The
a
highly
circle.
technical sit around the floor around the microphone, which was on top of the case that the microphone came in to put it up a little bit.
Oh
And I was
yeah.
using an old plastic MacBook to record it.
Wow, those were the days, man. Nobody had to see our faces. Everybody could just hear our annoying voices, hear you
We
transform into us.
we we got to this point, and the quality was okay and never got any further.
We got to interview some awesome comic book creators though, Peter
Yeah.
Cullen.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
how is
yeah.
everybody in the chat today? Where is everybody from? And what time is it where you're from? I'm always curious to see who decides to stay up late and listen to us and watch us. And got a couple of things. And no, we have a lot to talk about. Uh,
Nothing
especially with
really happened this week, though.
Dashmart's
Shot
from
Town.
Chicago.
Shot Town. What's up, man? No, something big happened yesterday that kind of took a lot of people by surprise on a Friday. It's like, they always say the statistically speaking, you want to get fired on a Friday.
Wait.
not not that not that
Wait, I'm
getting
sorry. You asked where people from and then I was showing it.
Okay.
Okay. Wait,
Thank you.
you're about to say something really important. I didn't.
No, not yet.
I've got Louisiana at work. Oh my goodness. But the other day I was playing Omnibus Live and we were on a Zoom meeting and then somebody muted my mic and I was like, oh, could they hear the video? I wasn't listening. And everyone's like, no. Good.
Look, we
Hey,
got a couple.
Finland, Germany,
What's up?
Denmark, oops, Ohio.
That's not Denmark.
Wow. London,
My
Cleveland.
my
Wow.
youngest daughter thinks Ohio's a different country. I think.
I don't get your thing with Ohio.
Well,
This
I
is
saw
that's not too
awesome.
far off.
I saw a couple people from uh
Vancouver. There's a lot of people from Australia. Miami.
Yeah. England,
I can't keep up.
Switzerland.
England. This is awesome. Baltimore. Other Australia. Switzerland. Okay, cool. Thank you guys for joining us.
absolutely.
Okay, so Lionheart has a question. Was that what you were about to answer?
I
Jumping straight into things.
Or
Or were you going to talk about something else first?
Omar, how are things going to work out with DC with them leaving Diamond? And that's exactly what I wanted to talk about today. And then talk a little bit about the state of comic books, how that's going to affect things moving forward, and how that's going to affect mainly a lot of you fine folks overseas. Um, so it's going to be an interesting topic, and I felt strongly about this when back in April, whenever DC decided to make a decision that kind of took everybody by surprise, and back then I was like, oh, this can't be good. I hope this is just temporary. So we're gonna talk a little bit about why this is going to be bad and what as a consumer, it's not gonna affect us, right? Not yet. It might. Um, it's gonna affect more of the retailers and more of the small publishers. So we'll talk about that. I do answer this question. Did you say Conan Classic is being reprinted, and if so, when is it releasing? Currently unavailable for a fair price. Just be patient on that. That will be reprinted. It was one of those Marvel stealth releases. I wasn't supposed to say anything. It was going to be a surprise, but then the pandemic happened. Originally, it was scheduled for April, but it's somewhere in the books, so it is coming. So just be a little patient. Have you seen the statements from Mile High Comics and Peter David?
Mike High Comics. I like Mike High Comics.
Oh, sorry, Mike High Comics.
No,
I
just
did.
teasing.
I did see the statements, and we'll talk a little bit about those statements too. Omar, when is the Wolverine Omnibus coming out? The reprint is coming out on September 2nd, and that is also the date that Black Widow comes out. And one thing that Peter, David said in the chat when I was doing the new dates is that they might have a different spine than the flat spines that you've seen in videos. So keep that in mind. You might get a better binding. You might get the curved spine that you're used to. Unlike what was it? Black Widow, Wolverine, JMS, Spider-Man 2, and She-Hulk. Sensational She-Hulk have that flat spine.
So let me ask you a question, Omar. Are you waiting to talk about DC, like giving a chance for more people to get on?
Oh yeah. I usually wait for more
Okay.
people to get on because people
Okay,
get
gotcha.
notifications, and then
Okay.
once we get a little more people in here, we'll start talking about it.
Okay, gotcha.
This
Gotcha.
is the nice part of like, hey, where is everybody from? And then I can answer some of these questions like here. Will the Busick Avengers Omnibus be reprinted? Absolutely 100%, but we don't know when yet. If you are following us on Facebook, I just started a little experiment yesterday that's kind of blown up. We have over 350 comments already. If you had one Marvel Omnibus reprint you could want, what would it be? And I might take it to YouTube because I know some of you all don't use Facebook or social media, and God bless you if you don't. But I may take a poll or something and put it on YouTube for those people that can't get on Facebook, and then kind of put all these numbers together and hand it over to Marvel. Last year, 5 out of our top 10 got reprinted, so that's wonderful. And
Dan, you're the smartest. You get this question.
yeah, Dan.
Will 2020 ever end? I mean,
Oh, technically, yeah.
I mean, the Earth is still moving through space. Will 2020 the attitude ever end? I don't know.
I have described 2020 as a Michael Bay movie. It seems like it just keeps getting stranger and weirder for no reason. And
I mean, the thing is, though, for a lot of us, this is the first big weird thing in our lives. But, for a lot of us, it's not either. I mean, certainly those of us in the U.S., we weren't even born yet when, people were lining up, miles and miles for gas and things like that during the oil crisis of the 70s, and crazy financial times in the 80s. And then, but we were kids for at least as far as like, September 11th certainly was a big thing. But like it, every couple of years has a big crazy thing going on. So I think big crazy things are kind of the norm, and we just get used to the new normal, whatever the new normal happens to be.
And big crazy things happen more so now. It seems bigger because everybody's so connected with social media. Things that are going on in Egypt, for example, like back when we were kids, we would have never heard of that stuff. Nobody was watching CNN our age back then. But now everything seems so connected.
Kids, though. It's hard. It's I don't know. I feel like we are not in the best position to judge because, at least for me, I mean, I don't know, maybe you were more news conscious when you were younger. But, most of my news conscious life has been internet and social media, time. So, it's hard to think of how that would be any different for me in a way that I can quantify from my own experience.
9/11 was
a big thing.
I think it's a snowball, right? Like rolling down. It's one big thing after another, or it feels like it.
And also, we can instantly get news.
Yeah, but I think too. Yeah, but I think your snowball analogy is right, but I think that every time you look back up to where you think it started, it's actually been rolling down the hill for a while.
Okay.
Everything the issues that we're having now have been bubbling for 50 years in all sorts of different ways.
Hey.
And now we
Do you know
have.
your name
Howdy.
is grammatically correct?
What,
you, didn't
because of the...
you didn't capitalize your M.
Oh,
I knew that bothered you. That's why I'm teasing you.
Here's a question I can answer really quick. Does cheap graphic novels give you a discount on buying books in return for the sponsorship? No. They just flat out, pay us. So I don't mind sharing that information. Maddie has arrived, and now the party can start. All right, Omar, do you live in your basement?
He does. That's where Melanie keeps him.
This is,
Live in.
I will say that
Disregard.
I'm supposed to come down here to watch 4K movies because I can't go upstairs. So I kinda sometimes live in my basement. And hey, there's a familiar face.
It does.
Tina,
does.
come on.
Hey,
I miss
Tina. I think she's at work.
you. Tina, don't be at work.
All right, so let's talk about the big thing right now that some people have brought up in the chat, and that is the DC leaving Diamond distribution. After 20 plus, I want to say almost 25 years of exclusively distributing DC Comics for this market, the comic book market, DC has decided to pull the plug and end that relationship. Now, as a consumer, most people are like, what do I care? I'm still going to get my books. But I think, much like 2020, it's going to be a snowball of effects. So let's talk about the very first people that are going to be affected, right? The very first people that are going to be affected by this big change are, of course, are retailers. So retailers are now having to order from two different places, and it's no secret that these two different places are competitors. One being Midtown Comics, and the other one being Lunar, who owns DCBS and In Stock Trades. So when they were the temporary distributors back in, I want to say, when did they make that decision? Early April. I made a statement saying that it's probably not going to be good if this happens full time. But I didn't want to get into it. So what's happening is that retailers are, and I'm talking about online shops or your comic book stores, are having to make accounts with Lunar and Midtown Comics. Not that big of a deal, but it's a little bit of a headache to order from two different locations. The big deal is that when I interviewed Steve Jeppy, and I've known this, but the discount that you get from Diamond is a lot bigger the more you order. So if your orders are 50% DC Comics and 50% Marvel, your discount's going to be bigger. You're going to save on shipping. Meaning us, the consumers, save a lot more money that way, right? Like, oh, hey, if somebody, and I'm just throwing random numbers out there, this is no way true, but if, for example, cheap graphic novels or in-stock trades, based on their amount of books that they order, get books from DC are 52% off and Marvel 52% off. That means we get a bigger discount on our end. But now that you're ordering it from two different locations, that you can't put both orders together, right? So your discount from Diamond is going to be smaller because they can't afford to give you a bigger discount without taking a loss. You are going to have to pay extra shipping for books just to get DC books. So that's what's going on. That's kind of what.
Omar, you get like a whiteboard and make a chart or something.
No, that's a conspiracy theorist. I don't do that.
No, I mean because it's difficult to understand.
He's strictly
for
a
me.
red yarn man.
So and here's the thing that I keep hearing. I meant that IST will be the same probably, but CGN cheap graphic novels might not be. But I don't know. I don't know because this affects everybody. Yes, Lunar.
People have mentioned that in Europe they're going to have to pay more.
In Europe and in Canada, you guys are already paying more.
Yeah.
So I want to. That's another thing I was going to get to. But the main thing right now is that retailers are pissed. I mean, there's a few that are like, we're fine. But the people that are saying we're fine are the big retailers that are the big comic book stores. But if you have like a small mom and pop shop that are barely making it, that are keeping the lights on by selling monthly comics, and you're taking away that one little extra discount that they need, how are they going to survive without getting eaten alive by the bigger places, right? I mean, do we want to see comic book stores become franchises like GameStop or Blockbuster? I mean, I for one don't.
What
So,
you used a good analogy for me yesterday about Papa John's and Pizza Hut.
oh yeah, so it would be like if you owned an establishment like Papa John's, and then all of a sudden, whoever your tomato sauce supplier is decides, yeah, from now on you get your tomato sauce from Domino's. No way that ever would happen. Gross. But that's the analogy. Like, why would you give your order numbers to your competitor? These are your biggest competitors, right? So a lot of retailers have that issue. A lot of online retailers and a lot of people that have comic book stores. So that was one thing. The other things that DC has done is like, no, we're just going to distribute books out on Tuesday. So it's like they're trying to kill the direct market, make it a book market, and it feels like eventually they just want to watch it burn to the ground. That's
Well, and you saw that like what it is. It was Lucifer, I think, where they announced that instead of the final run, they're doing it. Excuse me.
digital
Going straight
run.
to graphic novel. Do you think
Mhm.
DC's doing? Do you think DC is doing more of that to actually move toward the book market and away from the individual comic market?
Hold on. More importantly, Omar did not just try to come for Domino's sauce like that over Papa John's. I totally did. um, I saw that honestly. Like, I feel like during this pandemic, they're testing the waters for a lot of things, and one of them is being different
Yeah.
distribution centers. Right now, this only affects, of course, the direct market. But since DC has also said we are releasing every book on Tuesday, whether you're direct market or book market. So what does that mean? Usually for the direct market here, comic book places get books oh, about 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes a month before places like Amazon or Barnes and Noble. And yes, it's a little thing, but it makes you feel special. Like, I got this book, before it was on Amazon. That's awesome. By the way,
Well,
mad
and
love to
it
you,
definitely helps
meatballs
the
too.
sales for those smaller stores too.
Mhm.
And honestly, most people would prefer to like support businesses like that over Amazon, but that's the one thing they have over Amazon when they can't compete with the pricing.
Yeah, and Final Shadow earlier mentioned
Most
maybe
European countries
that they
can
get
get
it from
these.
Penguin House. Anyway.
Well, Diamond also has a distribution center overseas too. So then that all has to be
Oh, okay.
like that has to be changed. Like, we don't know anything about Lunar or the or Midtown Comics, how big their distribution centers are going to be, whether they're going to open up shop in Europe or in Australia. It's all up in the air, and it seems like these decisions were made literally on a Friday, like midday. I remember I got an email, and I'm like, oh, I was waiting for Rich to like
Yeah.
break the news because I was like, I'm not supposed to say a word, but I'm like, I'm sure somebody will. And then the Hollywood Reporter beat him to it, so awesome. Um, and then before that, the retailer Facebook group was just insane. It was pretty much like, I'm done. Let's boycott DC. This is ridiculous. Why would they do this? I mean, there's a lot of sad stories. Like, I am barely keeping my shop open between the protests, between the pandemic, and this is all on the backbone of a pandemic, right? Like, to do this, it's almost like you're spitting in the faces of your customers, of the people that have helped you get through the toughest times of when comic books were at their low. So that's one thing. That's just one thing that's happening, right? And I know people have said, do you know if Marvel sells books in China? Maddie?
They do. Sorry. Yeah, they do. They have their own. Like, there's even just Chinese language versions of those comics. I picked up some for Omar when I was there.
Yeah, she got me a copy of Astonishing X-Men. Um, so that's one side of things, right? So Peter David made a statement and earlier yesterday that it is really like DC is going out to war with Marvel because they're destroying Diamond Comics. And I think he took it to the extreme, but there's a little bit of truth behind that. And the truth is that if that is 30% of Diamond Comics, and Diamond Comics is already, it's no secret that they've been having issues financially. So I'll put this out there. If Diamond Comics goes bankrupt, right? Because they can't, even though an email went out yesterday from Steve Jeppy that everything's fine, if they go bankrupt, that means that small publishers are not going to get paid. So those people will fall, right? Marvel will get their money. IDW, I think, will be okay.
Yeah.
But like people that are self-publishing, people that their dream is to make comic books and are self-published or a small independent little publishing company, they're destroyed. So it's not like DC has like claimed more on Marvel. It feels more like DC is just either wants to get rid of the comic book little part of AT&T and WB, right? Because I mean, for years there's been rumors that they don't care about that. They just see it as something that's just wasting money because I don't think they've properly ran that department to see how much potential money there is there. I mean, we are talking about a company that has the rights to Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and you can't release these collected editions that you've been sitting on for decades. And there's a reason why Marvel outsells DC. And yes, you can say that, oh, well, they have 18% more books than DC. Well, fucking DC can do the same thing. It's like they're not willing to take gambles, and it's just getting worse and worse. And right there, what you just said, bring back Didio. It feels
Yeah, a couple other people in the chat were mentioning that. Do you think it would be different?
It feels like Didio, I ironically, was the person from making them jump the shark. Like he was the guy that was like, no, we're not doing that. We're gonna keep going with Diamond, right? It's just this like, so I feel bad for the publishers that are like that, the creators. So everybody, one of the suggestions was like Dan said, okay, well, how about we just get rid of single issues, right? Monthly issues. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. So if DC decides to get rid of single issues and go directly to graphic novels every 6 months, hardcovers once a year, or digitally, we know that digital for creators, they don't make. It's pennies on the dollar compared to physical release because that's where the money is in physical. And if you're a guy that's living check to check and you work for DC and you have to wait 6 months to get your check for the sales of your graphic novel instead of your monthly checks, I mean, that is no way to make a living. That
Well,
would
it would
kill.
change the way it would be written too,
It's
right?
not, but
Why
they-
wait 6 months? You're not writing single issues anymore. It's not like you
Yeah,
have to wait.
they'd have to
It would
change
be
their contract.
it would be different, but I'm sure the creators at DC right now, especially the ones that are just contracted out, are probably not wanting to work with DC. It's crazy, but like I was mentioning, like to consumer, like it doesn't hit us, right? Like most of us are like, I don't give a shit if DC distributes through whomever they want to. I get my books, but in a way, at the end, it kind of does affect all of us. This decision, and it seems like a rush decision.
It affects the marketplace,
right?
And let's all acknowledge that DC has no responsibility per se to its competitors, right? But I think this is a short-sighted decision, especially with it's effective immediately, because it does affect the marketplace, which is going to affect them. And taking actions that damage the comics marketplace is extremely short-sighted on DC's part, I think, except for the fact that DC has, by all indications, written off their comic book business, and they just don't really. I mean, it seems like from an external perspective that they just don't, frankly, care.
And that's
They're
really
putting
sad,
out
right?
they're putting out comic books strictly because of inertia, as opposed to
Yeah.
like, we think this is a viable business.
And I don't want to, and it's not me starting rumors because I have been biting my tongue for this, like for this specific segment for over a month. Like I've been wanting to talk about it. But it's just gotten to the point where it's boiled over. Creators are chiming in, retailers are pissed off. And nobody from and once again DC, it's not the people's fault, but if you're a retailer and your contact at DC is like, "No, everything's fine. We're still working with Diamond." I mean, I just literally interviewed Steve Jeppy, and he was like, "No, they haven't pulled anything." And then just like that, on a Friday, all hell breaks loose, and it affects people's livelihoods. And I feel bad for that. Like that's a horrible way to deal with this in the middle again of a pandemic. In the middle of when comic
Yeah.
book stores are getting government help to
It's hard. It's another change to deal with, right? There's been so many changes so quickly that, yeah.
So that's kind of where things are right now, and it's I I feel I mean I have strong feelings about this, but I've had strong feelings about their collected editions department. Like it's just a weird time. I don't want DC Comics to go anywhere.
No, but it's true. DC's been making very odd decisions for the past few years in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
And everyone's felt, I mean, long time DC fans have all felt really worried about this. Like, this isn't our publisher. What is happening behind the gate? And we've talked about this a long time because we don't understand what they're thinking. And it all comes to really poor business decisions. And it feels like they're not mindful. And I've said before, like, I would kill to help run that department. It's like, I just want to be able to help. Because I have not understood a single business decision they've made in the past 3 years.
Gotcha.
So Romu's asking, wouldn't this be better in the long run now that Diamond lost their monopoly and now has to compete in terms of prices? No. And because Diamond doesn't get a bigger cut. Like, it's not like it's gotten to the point where executives at Diamond have taken pay cuts to keep their employees. So it's not like they're hiding anything, right? I mean, people still make money and there's bonuses, I'm sure, but when the hell's the last time you hear of an executive taking a pay cut so he can keep their employees? Like, they can keep their employees.
Yeah.
You think this is all Jim Lee has lost a step or two in his penciling, so
No,
he is
that's
competent?
not
It's a
It's not a real question. Not a real question.
but it
There
kind
was
of
a question
go ahead.
two up from that, from Captain Curls, that if somebody could highlight.
Yeah.
Talking about the difference between their parent companies, and keep in mind they're all ultimately VC owned, but I think that's a good point. But I think that it's worth saying
Hey,
that
Tina.
Disney at least is a creative entity company. Like,
Right.
all of Disney's properties that they own are based off of original media, that all derives from creative media, where AT&T is just another business that sells a commodity. And I'm sure there's certainly more to it than that, but there's got to be some corporate culture involved there too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you couldn't imagine, frankly, Disney and Marvel, I think, are a good fit. You almost couldn't imagine it going the other way with Disney and DC. It just doesn't seem like a good fit anyway. But I think that's partly because of the way that DC has been run by its corporate owners for so long, as not as a creative company, as a company that just has to maintain the product for its consumers.
Andrew agrees with you.
One of the things I've seen.
AT&T's a phone company.
Yeah.
One of the things I've seen that speaks a lot of truth is, it was a tweet by, I think it was Brian Hitch, talking about how We no longer need the comic book medium to bring these characters to people. We have TV shows, we have movies, and a Batman kite will make more money than a Batman comic book in a year's time. And that is one of the saddest and probably truest statements I've read in a long time.
And also random. The Batman kite.
Well, it's a ridiculous
Yeah,
statement, but it's true. Right? Like we no longer.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it
is,
comes.
but-
It's the perspective of we no longer need comic books to push these characters in kids'
Yeah.
faces.
Yeah.
Right now we have movies. Now we have animated shows. Now we have. It's weird, but I mean, to us, right? Like, I don't want my comic books to go away. Yeah, as a
Well,
not a collector,
Right.
but just
I want both.
Kite
want all
Man
of
is
them.
Well, and it's
awesome.
exactly it's
I
that,
agree.
that is storytelling more important to you as a storytelling company, or is ROI more important to you as a story? As a quote unquote company, as a storytelling company. If ROI is more important to you, then just okay, everybody knows who Batman is. We don't need to tell stories. We can sell kites.
I think it kind of is emotional for a lot of people because it breaks trust. Somebody mentioned that earlier too in the chat. Like, this is a company that has given people happiness, right? Stories, inspiration, entertainment. And this decision is scary and feels like, a break of trust. And of course, they are a company and they want to make money. But when, I don't know, like one of the reasons I respect my husband is that he cares about the people. And I know that's a big, like, optimistic statement to say, like, let's just care about it.
Well, no,
right?
and that's
like, that's
true.
not reality, but it
Yeah.
would be great if it was.
Well, and
No?
they've proven to be a company too that is not thinking creatively in terms of marketing and sales. They're really not being thoughtful in these decisions. Not to keep going back on the whole, collected editions, but there's a very stark difference between DC and Marvel as far as the content they produce and the format in which they produce it. Just look at the shelves behind Omar right now. You can see that is clear marketing across all of this. It's very appealing. No, I'm just saying, like, DC has been a mess with that kind of stuff. And those are little things that add up as far as sales, whether they realize it or not. And not releasing collected editions that are sought after that would make money. That's an issue. They're not thinking creatively. And that's why the sales have dropped. And I'm sure that's led to people in higher up saying, well, what's the point of this? I'm like, well, you're not making the correct decisions to make money for your company.
Yeah.
Well, and they've been, for the longest time, DC has always been afraid of taking chances. Like, this is the company that, Marvel released an Omnibus edition, DC did an Omnibus edition. Marvel released a box set of collected editions, DC released. And it's okay, to borrow, I think, heavily from the competitor.
Right.
But when you're doing it all the time and then you're mocking them. I remember when they used to mock the Epic collections. No, this is ridiculous. Nobody's ever going to buy these.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to see the numbers in the back. And now they're doing the same with some of the Bronze Age books or the facsimile editions, right? Like, they were like, nobody wants to buy reprinted issue, but they're doing the exact same thing. It's like, come on, man. You did something kind of unique with your deluxe editions of the Rebirth line, and you should have stuck to that. Instead,
Absolutely.
they pulled back.
Absolutely. And to piggyback off the whole not taking risk, let's also look at the difference of culture between Marvel and DC. Not that they're great behind the scenes. Both of them still have a lot of issues as far as, like, the creators they hire, the writer teams and things like that. But look at the diversity in stories and characters that they have in these two companies.
Maybe it's
DC is lacking and has been lacking and has been too afraid to really bring new stories and new characters to their world. Marvel doesn't always do it the best way, but they've been trying something. They've been marketing to their new audiences, the growing new audiences. DC's like, no, let's not.
Maybe it's just that DC is preparing 13 years in advance for Superman to enter the public domain. Yeah, fuck it.
Maybe.
It's sad to
Joshua.
hear DC in general is risk adverse when one of the most spectacular and risky comics I've read in recent years was Mr. Miracle.
Yeah.
And And
I
that
agree.
stands true.
That's the guy I like, right? I can't.
Yes,
I get confused.
not
Okay.
not Miracle Man, honey.
Mr. Miracle. Okay, gotcha,
Yes.
gotcha.
Um, I
All
blame
right,
video games,
I'm gonna need to jump
kids.
off here.
All
All
right,
right,
brother.
bye.
Take care.
See you
Dan.
guys.
Get off my lawn. DC created Naomi, and actually, I really like
That's
that. My
yeah,
daughter
it
and I
did
really
very
like
well.
that, and that's Brian Michael Bendis creating another character in the DC lore. But I don't know if it's even in DC continuity because it's part of their Young Animal line.
Yeah, I know.
So who
Because
knows?
didn't she also join Young Justice too? Or
Which is also part of that Young Animal line.
that's true. Yeah.
So,
And man, that line's good. That's got some good stuff in it.
and it's kind of confusing when you know, back in the day, I think most people, when they look at a DC comic and they were like, okay, this is DC, or is it Elseworlds, or is it Vertigo, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like Black Label is Vertigo.
Wonder
You have,
Comics.
and I think they don't really have a vision for everything. I
Agreed.
just give DC no. I can't make
He's
my
like-
New Warriors Omnibus Volume 2.
It's like, don't give me this sinking ship. No, thank you.
But honestly, what they really could use is some young blood in there to that not only cares, but is also really smart when it comes to these things. Because there's one thing like to be a fan, right? And you're like, I want to release all of this, but then you also have to look at numbers. Is this really selling, or could this potentially sell? But when you have a company that refuses to even look at those numbers and just blindly releases collected editions,
Yes,
like,
and releases stuff they've already released that's not even out of print. Why are
like,
you doing that?
we live in a world.
Hi, would you like Grayson again?
Well, okay, yeah, that. We live in a world where Deathstroke the Terminator. We have an omnibus of Deathstroke the Terminator, and Marv Wolfman's name's not on it because it's the new 52. Or we have a run of like Red Hood and the Outlaws, but we don't have a classic like Batman post-crisis omnibus collections. It is insane that decisions like that were greenlit. Like who made that chart and said, "Look at the possible sales. Red Hood's a huge character."
And see, I love Red Hood and the Outlaws omnibus, but
Yeah,
it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. I agree. No, people don't like that book. I love that book, but most people don't like it. Why was that released?
It's got beautiful artwork.
Yeah.
Let's see. No company shifts their whole logistics operation without a good reason. There's no good time to do this. They're just ripping the Band-Aid off. And I think that's
probably
kind
right.
of what the rumors have been for the long time, that DC just doesn't care about comic books, right? Because it bleeds them out of money. And it's not DC,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's the parent companies like WB and AT&T.
Yeah. And you're right, I just wish it wasn't right now.
It's
I know
just
it's not a good time, but man, now's really not a good time.
And my boy Smartass Droid, I mean, that's kind of true. Jim Lee's the one that made the calls. Jim Lee's the one that personally made the phone calls. So a lot of this is on him, and I don't know if he's made a statement. And I don't think he has, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
So,
Me too.
hey, Red Hood deserves more Omnis. I'm still waiting on Volume 2 in the
We're
reprint.
never gonna get a volume 2 of that. I was surprised they even put volume 1 on it. I was like, really? That's not gonna happen. Although, that run does deserve an omnibus. Rebirth does.
The Scott Lobdell, same
Oh
writer.
yeah. Oh yeah. The with the when it's Red Hood and Artemis and Bizarro.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic DC decision.
Oh, and I'm going to answer.
Before they ruined it, like DC does with everything, because they hated Rebirth and they hate me personally.
They hate you.
Yes.
I don't think that's the case.
They do.
Hey
They
guys,
do.
I know isn't directly relevant to the conversation now, and I may have missed this in the conversation, but is the Absolute Fables still canceled? Yes. They're going with the compendium. It is still up for some reason on Amazon's websites in Europe. Yeah, in the UK. I don't know why, but they've gone with the compendium. But you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if an Absolute actually gets released. Like, that would not surprise me at all without anybody even knowing they canceled it. Here's a question that I don't know. He's been asking. She's been asking. Any idea what's going on with Batman Catwoman by Tom King?
I don't
We
know.
we were told like what a year ago that Tom King was off the book, and now he's finally off the book. But that series to wrap up his run, Batman Catwoman, still hasn't. We don't know anything about it. And it could be the pandemic that caused delays.
Here's DC's statement.
Yeah.
Current changes are done directly to upset you.
Yeah, they said that. They said, hey, Maddie, we know you love Rebirth, so we just threw it in the garbage and threw away all the teams you liked. Also, we know you love Roy Harper, so we just killed him. And we had a hero do that, because that was fine. And then we had him show up again as a vampire hunter, and we killed him in that universe too. You're welcome. Also, Donna Troy's an alcoholic. Are you happy? Here we go.
Isn't Jim Lee friends with these distributors? I know he has friends that own a comic book shop. Like one of his best friends is the guy, the drummer from System of a Down that owns Torpedo in Vegas. Like he has this amazing drum set kit that's drawn by Jim Lee.
Real quick, is Tom King writing the New Gods movie?
I don't know. Is that still a thing?
I hope it is, but because I love me some New Gods.
Sergio Mexico said they eliminated all the single issues because they were losing so much money. Just the collected editions are available.
Yeah, I don't know if that will happen here in America. Because there's still a big demand. Now, one of the things that I've noticed when this announcement was made by DC was that IDW made a statement talking about supporting the direct market stores, and then the return policy changing, that you can return things, and cutoff dates are changing. And I'm pretty sure, we all know, I don't think it's any secret that Marvel loves the direct market. I mean, there's a reason why Marvel has direct market variants of Omnis, and there's free comic book day that they just give them a bunch of stuff. It's, so I think Marvel will probably I don't think they'll make a flat out statement, but they'll probably, sorry, that question distracted me. But they'll probably make something like, hey, this will be exclusive through the direct market. Something like that. That's how Marvel does it. So please talk about the flat spine Wolverine reprint. I have to go to work soon. Sure, it's got a flat spine. I don't know if the reprint, when it comes out in September, will have a curved spine like you're used to. My flat spine actually has an eye, because I always open mine up a few times, making sure I flex that spine. But I've seen, somebody was saying Jim Mint's video that it had no eye on his, so that could be an issue. But I know the ones that they're selling right now all have a flat spine. So if you want to wait for the reprint, it might be one with a curved spine. David hasn't gotten a sample copy yet.
Real quick, what Booster Gold hardcover is coming out in September?
It's the follow-up to Dan Jurgens' run, right? The second one? Yeah, it's to finish out his run. So all 24 issues will be collected.
It's supposed to be about Mr. Miracle and Big Barda. That's what Mitchell just said.
Victory.
Huh.
My man.
I feel like Omar is talking about something else about the spine. No, just the spine of the book. Return policies force publishers to create better content for a diverse customer base, not just for one audience. Absolutely. My flats, yeah, some people don't. I don't mind the flat spine. As a matter of fact, when we come back and do our giveaway, I was going to give away either that one or my copy, so it's up to the winner's choice. If you want my original copy or you want the one that Marvel sent me.
You're so flexible. Good for you.
Like the spine of an omnibus.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I don't care as long as it doesn't have a dust jacket.
Yeah. Well, you can take those
dust jackets.
You can take those off, Maddie.
I love
can't,
dust jackets.
because it's not going to say what volume it is on the side. They never do.
Well, then look at
No,
that.
you just meant when you read it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just don't think. I think it should all be like the Image Deluxe editions, and we should never have dust jackets again.
No. Stop.
Throw 'em
I
in
always
the
take them
garbage.
off. Some of hers.
I take them off when I read them. I'm not a monster. Omar, do you know if the Gotham Central Omnibus is out of print or out of stock? It's out of print.
Yeah.
100%. Which sucks, because we did an old reader, new reader, and then like immediately a couple of days later, it was gone everywhere.
Well, and even the trades and stuff too, right? Are like
The hardcovers were really hard to find, but you can probably find them cheaper now. I don't mind the flat spines as long as they match. Yeah, like JMS. I'm looking at JMS 1 and 2 right now. Flat spine makes it look a little bit thicker, but I'm alright with that. Is there any truth to that?
Yes.
My mother would agree with you, and so would Tina, because she's been
Yes.
with me a lot.
Because I'm like, put a jacket. I know you're cold. No.
Oh,
Wear a
dude.
fucking coat, Maddie.
Wear a coat. Your omnibuses are cold, and so are you, Maddie.
In the UK, we have a nice Gotham Central slipcase set. Yeah, I saw pictures of that trending online. Those are beautiful, man.
Ooh,
What
Yeah.
about actors? Could you cast
Okay.
Blue Beetle and Booster Gold?
I'm ready.
I've thought about this for 5 hours.
So, for Booster Gold, I have said, and I'll say before, it should be Dax Shepard. I'm sticking to it. I feel like he can play the entitled everyone should love me guy very, very well. And I love him. As far as Ted Cord, I'm still not sure. But I thought about Booster Gold. I've been campaigning for Dax Shepard to be Booster Gold for like 2 years. That's my
How many
thought.
people have you joined your campaign?
My husband.
He's a smart
Put
man.
out a
But he has to hear me talk about
Sign.
this a lot, because we both love Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, so we talk a lot about, like, okay, what would the movie look like? And marry someone who will talk about that stuff with you.
Yeah.
I'm sure Elliot might have the opposite suggestion. Don't marry someone that just wants to talk about Booster Gold and Blue Beetle all the time.
He loves them too. It works
Okay.
out.
Reminded
Josh
of
Pittman,
oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
brought up a good point. The video you did, Omar, how your comic book stores are enduring. Dan from Zone Comic Shop said how the characters have never been more popular, yet Marvel DC failed to translate that success to the comics. I think that comes back earlier, right, to like what Dan was saying, selling, oh, am I going to say it right? Selling a commodity versus selling stories, right?
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Mhm.
And then I can't remember her name. Somebody brought up, just the reading culture is being lost. And that's a shame. Obviously, I think we all think reading is important. But as an English teacher, I do. Thank you, Bruce, for the super chat. Did you ask David about Spider-Geddon Omni for me? He's paying you. That's what's up. He's paying you to ask David.
That's a commodity. He was busy on Thursday and Friday, so I think we're gonna try to talk this week. So I will bring that up along with the other things I said I was gonna bring up. Owen Wilson is Booster Gold.
I like Owen
No,
Wilson.
but- Luke Wilson is Ted Cord. I could get behind. Also, Luke Wilson
Wilson's already a pet.
So what? He can be both.
My bad.
That's obviously alternate universe,
Obviously.
so it's fine. Just like Brandon Routh can be the Atom and Superman. It's okay.
Yeah, it's actually Omar's. And Tina's wife Heather helped me make Omar's shirt for him for Christmas. Show it off, baby.
wow.
Somebody liked it earlier. Call me
Yes.
Meathead. That's our summer movie. We haven't watched our summer movie yet. Meatballs 2.
Yeah. Nobody
Yeah.
watches that movie.
Neil, I will say that the only reason I'm into comic books at all is because of movies. So I will say that there are some cases where it worked out, because Omar will remember
I do.
that it was because of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Wonder Woman, those two movies, I was like, I need to know more. I was
That's
like,
really cool.
I love Mantis, so I immediately started like watching Comic Storian and all these other like YouTubers about like their comic book stories, and then I was like, I need to get in on this, and now I have a whole room filled with comic books and a lot of money gone, and I've been on this channel for I don't know how long. 2 years? How long have I been on here? I don't know.
It feels like 2 years. Get David Gabriel for an interview. Yes, he knows. He knows. Meatball movies are awesome. That's right. But here's
I
where
haven't
I
seen
lose.
the first one.
I was gonna say here's where I lose
The
you.
first one?
I like the second one more than I like the first one. Of course, nobody talks about
Really?
the third or fourth. Yeah, no one says that except me. There was a really good question in
Me,
here.
obviously. I haven't seen the first one.
Oh, somebody was
So
asking
ridiculous and bad.
about.
I've never seen Meatballs.
It's a summer.
I would like to because of what's his name in it?
Bill Murray.
Yeah, thank you, Bill Murray.
Omar, do you know whether Injustice Omnibus is out of print? It is out of print. But here's the thing. It's out of print at Diamond. Does that mean that Lunar and Midtown Comics got some? I don't know. It's going to be so hard to keep track of these things. Because it was one time, another thing that made it easier to see when things are out of print was you could check the book market and you could check the direct market. Direct market was always Preview's World.
Okay,
And if
Omar.
Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't taken my ADHD medication. Has it shown?
No. You're good.
No, you're fine. You're not talking about leprechauns. Like,
I have a quick question for me. Should I go ahead and buy this She-Hulk Omnibus? Do you think it'll go out of print quickly? Or out of stock, I mean.
It's out
people
of,
were asking that last week, weren't they?
yeah, and I said it's out of print already at Diamond.
For real? Fuck.
Yeah, so you do what you want to do, but
That's
look at you.
$70.
I know. I had to buy it too, so I understand.
Oh my god. All
now,
right.
now hold on. If it breaks it though, like it does have a flat spine.
I don't care about that.
Okay.
No, you say
The
that
other
now.
the other book that's showing out of or back ordered is Silver Surfer, the reprint
That's
for
fine.
anybody.
I wonder, reading Brian's point here, and I think he mentioned this earlier, Marvel and DC really failed to get people to buy comics after movies. They should have returned to spinner racks in all shops. And of course, I would like that. I wonder if that faded away. Well, of course, it did a long time ago, but I don't think it would work very well because of this day and age of like instant knowledge. You can just look up everything, right? And to me, a spinner rack is you kind of take your chance. You're looking through something physical without somebody explaining everything to you. I don't know. Does that make sense?
I think that makes sense.
Go ahead, Tina.
Sorry, like I think that makes sense because when I was a kid and I was really into Marvel, like literally the grocery store had a spinner rack like right next to the checkout aisle. And what would I do? I would beg my parents for the issue that was on there, whether it was in continuity of a story I was reading or not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still like kids will recognize the character, and I think trying to push that or at least get something like that at stores again might, boost their sales a little bit. It would kind of hurt the comic book shops, but you have to be attainable or at least get some younger readers in that way to establish a base.
Oh, I was saying I didn't think it would work.
I ordered it. We're
I would
good,
love
you
it
guys.
to work.
I love that you didn't take your medication because it makes it so much more fun when you're literally shopping online to get your book in the middle of a show.
Another big symptom of ADHD is, well, obviously impulsivity, but it also relates to impulse buying things. So,
I will say
I've done a lot
that's
of.
just not ADHD.
Well, yeah, but
I suffer from that.
it's a big part of it.
I will say there's no way they can bring spinner backs back because it was that lawsuit where the spinner rack went through somebody and killed him back in the. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Okay.
I never heard of
I'm just kidding. Goes to show you that everybody on YouTube can bullshit and answer. Please don't forget to hit that like button at this time. Thank you for watching. So here's some good comments. Is She-Hulk out of print in 1 week? It's out of print at the distributor, not at the retailers. Meaning that once they sell out of print, that's all that'll be. Once the retailers like Cheap Graphic Novels or In Stock Trades sells out, that's it.
Man, I'm glad I went ahead and got it.
Omar, when do you know a book is out of print? 9 times out of 10, no joke, it's you guys. Somebody will email me, somebody will hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and it's because of you all that I go and do research. It's usually I love you guys. It's wonderful. You guys keep an eye out for me because before it was me that had to keep an eye on this stuff. But now I built my database based on what you guys asked me. Like I had no idea about Annihilation Conquest until last year before Annihilation went back into print. I had no idea about Annihilation until the day after we did our old reader, new reader segment. Somebody asked me, hey, this was just, and it was literally in stock the day before we did that episode. And then that next day, places were selling out. And now it's showing as back ordered with a parentheses temporary, but I hope that just means they're going to get more. So usually it's you guys let me know. I go and double and triple check. And now I have awesome viewers that are retailers that keep an eye out for me. Makes it easier for me. I don't have to
that's
do that
cool.
stuff myself. So thank you all.
We don't have time. You gotta pay attention to me.
Yes, that's exactly what I do with my spare
I
time.
fight all the time with that. Anyway,
Omar, thanks for making my Saturdays fun and interesting again. Brilliant work. When will we vote for the reprint Omni Epics list? Like I have my top 10. I started a poll on our Facebook group, and I'll start one on YouTube and
Um,
Instagram as well.
Is that what you were talking about at the beginning of the show?
Mhm.
Because a couple of people were asking, could it be on Twitter and Instagram because
Yeah,
they don't
yeah,
use
yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
And
don't
I
blame
said,
you.
who does that? Is that you, Maddie?
What?
Maddie's are
Social media.
Andrew and Maddie
Sometimes.
are the ones that do it.
Andrew. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, either one of them can take it.
Thank you.
Gotham Central sold out because of you guys. Maybe.
I don't know about that.
I just
That'd
like
be
telling
cool.
people. I just like telling people about good stories, and I don't want anybody to miss out on it. You know, Omar. Yes, like my boy Roberto. I think you were one of the first people that told me about that. That X-Men Revolution is out of print, and it was after I made my video because that video was supposed to go out on a Monday or Tuesday. I filmed it on a Sunday. So on Thursday, I think somebody told me that, hey, I think this is out of print. I can't find it anywhere. So I'm in Facebook jail again, so I can't vote. How, man? How are you on Facebook? What did you... Nah, don't answer that.
Matthew, I'm not. I was looking at it the coming soon just to make sure I was prepared.
Is name Namor out of print by John Byrne? No, I double checked that one. That one is still in print. That one is still in print. So I have like a concern for people that want to read Annihilation, because if Marvel wants to reprint Annihilation, Conquest, and War of the Kings, now you're stuck with no Annihilation because it's out of print, and I hate when that happens. So I almost like it when Marvel says, okay, we're reprinting Uncanny X-Men 1, and then a few months later we'll have 2 and 3 reprinted, and 4 will come out in 2021. That's an awesome, like, I love when they do that. But they didn't do that with Amazing Spider-Man. They reprinted Amazing Spider-Man last year, Volume 1, the Silver Age stuff, and it just went, it looks like it's out of stock and maybe going out of print. I can't keep up with my own list.
Because there's so much info in your head.
All the
I
time.
can't pay attention to me. Anyway.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
That's on me. I tried Annihilation from True Graphic Novels. It is sold out again. Yeah. I hope it's just a temporary thing, man. Omar, you can build a big house with all them books.
Oh, it was a him or somebody said that earlier. Like, put the wrap.
If Melanie kicks him out.
Yeah. Just build a house out of books.
I mean, I could, but I'm not going to.
I bet you'd be a good size.
Lucifer's out of print, as well as Hellblazer looks like it's out of print at the distributors too. And I'm not saying that so you guys go out and like get these things, and these could be just temporary things, because like I said, this is just a diamond, and now we're gonna have books, you know, distributed through Lunar and Midtown Comics. So who knows if they're really out of print anymore?
Man, every time you say Lunar, I just think about the video
Lunar,
game.
Yes.
Every time.
That's the game plan. By the way, shout out to anybody who knows Lunar.
The dreams of your heart.
Yeah.
And innocent you.
Just pull out our cosplays.
Careless and kind.
We just got
The
demonetized.
breeze and love.
Thanks. Here's a question for you, Maddie. The new 52 run of Red Hood and the Outlaws went to issue 40, right? I thought they made it all the way to 52. I could be wrong.
I think
don't
they
know.
made it to 52. I'm not sure. Yeah!
There's a
Kenneth,
man
that
culture.
was my first video game ever.
I love you guys.
It
right
was?
Yeah, my dad took me to buy a PlayStation,
Aw.
and he said, pick out 2 games. And I picked out
Like
Lunar
that.
Silver Star Story Complete and Final Fantasy VII.
now. Wow.
Wow.
You set the bar high.
Yay for
And I
the
never
book.
looked back, and I never had friends until after high school that played those games.
Aw.
My first RPG, basically video game besides Mario Brothers, was Saga Frontier. And my sister was playing.
Frontier. I had the second one.
I liked it because it was my first, right? And then
Two
my
was
sister's
good.
playing Final Fantasy VII. She's like, this is so much better. I'm like, eh. Oh, and my second was Xenogears, though. Oh.
See, I still need to play some
That's why you like that so much.
All right, Henrik, nice to catch you live, although just momentarily since we just got married today. We'll continue celebrating
yay.
soon. Good vibes.
Congrats.
Wow. Well,
Congratulations,
thanks for jumping
brother.
on. And that's just great news. Can
Yeah.
you tell us anything more? Anything romantic? Some tidbits? Like, I don't know.
He's
How
busy
y'all meet?
celebrating
How
his
y'all meet?
marriage.
Henry,
I think
how
he's
y'all meet?
celebrating. Tell David to reprint all the Marvel Omnis. Done. That wasn't even a super chat. Done. Best
Oh, Tess
RPG.
Mason. That makes sense.
What's that?
The was FF1. That makes sense with this picture.
Me too. So don't feel that old, please.
Sorry,
I've
I'm
never
the
played
youngest
that.
one here.
Maddie
never
always
played
makes
that.
me feel old.
And like what, half an hour to the game was like Final Fantasy. I was like, what?
Maddie always makes me
Just
feel old.
started?
Sorry.
It's just like back in my graduation class of 2015.
I graduated in 2000. Well, or high school's 2009. That helps.
Ooh.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm
I'd already
28.
graduated college.
I
But
know.
Don't do this math. Don't do
I'm
this math.
sorry.
Omar, I ended up finding X-Men Revolution on DCBS for $60 yesterday and snatched that bad boy up. That's what's up. I wasn't trying to pay 92. Now, DCBS is it's the same people that own In Stock Trades and the same people that own Tales of Wonders, but they have their own like warehouses, right? So I'm surprised they still had it there. Sometimes they back order things from In Stock Trades through DCBS and Tales of Wonder.
Okay, I've got a request for a birthday shout out from Tim Klein. And with
Yeah,
Maddie
happy birthday.
Booster,
Oh, happy birthday, dude!
up in Casanova. Happy birthday! Tell us what you're going to do to celebrate. And Elmar can open a comic book history museum with all those books. It belongs in a museum.
There are certain comic books. Hey, what's his name? Steve Jeppy had a comic book museum, and he closed it up, and I wonder why.
There's that museum in Indianapolis. We saw Indiana Jones, his whip, and they had a comic book really big. Not display. What's it called? Exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice.
I love those exhibits. They're wonderful.
Let's see. Did either of them? Did Tim or what's his name answer? Go ahead.
Join late, but glad to hear and see all you guys. Hey, Robert, I love your God of War face paint. If that's really you. How do you recommend to collect Fantastic Four? I would say epics, but a lot are sold out if you're just about reading. The Omnis, we still have John Byrne, and I want to say FF Volume 1 is still in print. If you've never read it, I always suggest maybe, a really good jumping on point. Oh, hell. The Jonathan Hickman run is collected in complete collections, but I also like Mark Waid's run, and that's an omnibus format. What do you think about Wolverine, Jean, and Cyclops' relationship in the new X-Men comics? By the way, were Wolverine and Storm officially canon? They were for a little bit in issues of Extreme X-Men, but I'll let these ladies answer first, and then I'll give my 2 cents.
I haven't read it, but I support it.
Hot. It's hot.
I like the polyamorous representation, but I hate certain characters.
I know, I'm not a Jean fan.
All right, here's what Hendrix.
Personally, I liked the Storm and
Henrik, that's what we did.
relationship.
Like, our wedding is postponed till I don't know when, but we just went ahead and did it.
Good for you, man.
Just have family celebrate with us. Good.
Good for you.
Because you're so in love, right, Maddie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wish he'd come on the show. He'll never do it. He's way funnier than
Henrik?
me. No, Elliot. Elliot's way funnier than I am.
He's good at puns like that. He's just always busting them out.
Man.
My 2 cents on the Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean Grey polyamorous relationship is that, sure, Wolverine is
Sure.
been around for a few hundred years. I'm sure he gets bored with all the things he's been into.
There you
Trying
go.
out something new. Maybe he takes out his aggression out on Cyclops.
I mean,
more.
the man looks like a bear. So, just saying.
Show you why they call
What
you
are you saying, Maddie?
Slim.
Get
Call
it.
him like I see him.
Okay.
I don't get it,
Interesting.
Maddie. What are you saying?
That's the term for
Could you elaborate?
for a furry gay man.
Very, yeah.
I know.
It's a bear.
So spending.
What are your
time-
thoughts on
Silver
it? What are your
Bitsy.
daydreams? Sam Klein is spend time family, read comic books for his birthday.
That's an
Nice.
awesome birthday. Tell me my name, please.
I assume that's your name right there.
Well, read it, Maddie. What are you gonna hack into our system if we do that? Like, what is this? Hussein Kuraishi? Come on, help me out, Maddie. You're the language linguist.
Oh,
Wolverine has 3 claws.
Oh, sorry.
That's
What are
Oh,
you?
3 and a threesome with Cyclops and 3 claws.
I'll be right
Ouch.
back.
That's a. There you go. Thank you.
All right. Nelson's asking what our Patreon levels are. I plan on joining this month. Thank you so much. That's awesome. We have like 4 tiers, I think. The $1 tier gets to vote on old reader, new reader. I think there's a $5 tier that gets to vote on the comprehensive reading orders. There's a tier that gives you access, like we thank you or personal thank you on our videos, each ending of our videos, and then there's another tier I can't remember.
Oh.
Tina, do you remember?
No.
I'm gonna say no, you don't remember, just from your facial expression. But yeah, that's our tiers. That's our tiers. But thank you so much.
Oh,
It's a great way to support the channel if you can do so.
I want a ribbon bookmark. Because I'm using a Subway napkin as a bookmark right now for Silver Surfer.
In my damn omnibus?
No. Yeah.
Is
no,
it used?
yeah. No, it's not used. I
Okay.
just didn't. I was eating breakfast and I didn't have anything.
Ghost Who Walks, by the way, I love your name. Omar, why don't they put a ribbon bookmark when they make an omnibus? It would be a nice addition considering the size. Cost. That's what it comes down to. Cost. Here, Tina, what kind of mug is that? Andrew Fox.
Something about cats.
Yeah, it's I work hard to give my cat a better life, but it's like the size of my head.
Oh my gosh.
I drink like 5 of these full of coffee every day, so
That is both a beautiful and saddest mug I've ever read.
What tier lets you come to Omar's house to read comics while he feeds you grapes?
That's
if he's feeding you grapes, he's going to be one hand on his phone the whole time, though, and he won't pay attention to you.
I gotta reply back to those comments.
he'll be feeding your eyes grapes. I mean, he's not gonna.
There you go. Use napkins as bookmarks too. Just whatever is right next to you.
Tina, where is your cat? Where she
Um,
has like
I
18
have
cats.
8. I have 8, and they're locked out of the room. This morning, my poor wife was cleaning up like cat poop because our dementia cat like pooped right in front of her in the floor.
Aw.
She's peed on the floor today. They've thrown up, so they are out of here.
Oh man, there's so many good comments. Thank you all so much for joining us. With these 3 ladies, Omar, you look like Bosley from Charlie's Angels. No, I'm more like Farrah Fawcett. Omar, if you were the main X-Men writer, I've been waiting for this question. And write a book, who would be on your team and what would be your first storyline for that X book? Oh my god. What an awesome question that's going to be like 5 hours long to answer, but okay, my team would be led by Storm because let's face it, best leader of the X-Men.
I'm glad you start with a team.
Wolverine would definitely be on there. And this is where I lose you guys because my team is so weird. But I would put Sunspot and Longshot.
Okay. Why Sunspot?
Because he's a powerhouse. And Iceman. Iceman is an Omega level mutant that gets underused so much. Throw in some Rogue love just because she's wonderful and awesome. Also a great kick-ass X-Men. And probably wrap it up with somebody like... man, I would need somebody... you know what? I like... Quentin's grown on me, so Quentin. Yes, there we go. Quentin. That would be my team. The first thing to do... would go and do a X-Men Forever storyline, much like Kurt Busiek did, and get rid of those really shitty retcons. Like, we'll start retconning the shit out of Chuck Austin's run. We'll retcon the crap out of Peter Milligan's run and some of Bendis' stuff he did. That's what my first storyline should be. Super sticker. Thank you, Grandmaster.
What's a super sticker?
It's something you can see in the chat. Cyclops was the best leader of the X-Men, but they really broke him in the last 2 decades. I think... issue 201, man. Like, issue 201, and then her just taking leadership of the Morlocks during all of that from the Ashes storyline. and then the whole Australian mutant massacre. Like to me, she was the best leader. She was awesome. Omar, let's get that JLA Omnibus content changed, dude. Let's just say I've tried. I've done my part. I have reached out. I'm new.
Hi, the
Okay.
Monsters here,
Hi.
921.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Omar, we agree that Storm is the better. I mean, what other... the X-Men have had, a few different leaders, but to me, she's always been the best one. Evan would have a meltdown with Sunspot on the team. No! They can combine their powers, man. I've thought about this.
They
Believe
would
me.
become Todoroki, okay?
Turns into anime with manly
Hey, Sloan.
attitude.
Right.
Oh, is that Sloan?
I don't know. I'm just saying hello in case it was.
Hi, Sloan.
Omar, do you know when the new edition of Infinite Crisis is coming out? I've heard many different dates. It was originally supposed to come out in June.
Yeah, Inside Trades has it coming out pretty soon, but I don't know.
Well, those
I
dates.
know, those always get updated.
Yeah, but I think it's either July or late June.
Watch out, Melanie. There's a cutie behind you.
That's my
Aw.
baby. Do you think we'll see an Ultimate X-Men Omnibus? Love that run.
Shoot, the pool is overflowing.
By the way, we're not rich. We have an inflatable pool. Let's stop. We're literally filling up with a water hose before anybody jumps to any conclusions. Omar's got a pool.
Oh my!
I do love laying in that inflatable pool with my beer going, I wonder what the poor people are doing today.
Man, I'd love to be in the pool right now.
Right?
Maddie and Omar's review of Tommy got me into...
Tomie.
Tomie. Sorry.
Okay, this is immediately like you were reviewing your brother, Omar.
Yeah, got me into Junji Ito. Good,
I'm
man.
glad
I'm
you
so
liked
glad
it.
you like it. Al Bundy style. Yeah, man. That's what I just lay back there. Pool party. Yeah, y'all come in.
Yeah.
Only 4 adults at a time, please. Oh, you didn't answer the question because of the pool order. What was the question? I'm sorry, I got distracted like that.
Who
I'm so-
needs medical?
was it?
Oh, jeez.
Was it the Infinite Crisis question? I thought I had gotten that. Oh, the Ultimate X-Men question. Sorry, my bad, dude. I think they're probably going to wait on sales of Ultimates Omnibus reprint. I'm hoping that they'll reprint Ultimate Spider-Man with the hopes of a volumes 2 and 3 that take us all the way to Death of Ultimate Spider-Man. Spoilers, sorry, but that's the title of the book for those that haven't read it. Yep, I got you, man. Do you read Omno? Hell no, I don't read my Omnis in the pool. I do not read Omnis. Was it okay? What's wrong? Did you overflow the garden?
Baby, I think the water's been running for like 2 hours.
We ain't made no money, Melanie.
Well, I forgot. You didn't. Oh. Lisa was supposed to tell us.
Welcome
She's
to-
so smart.
Saturday Q&A, but also known as watching mom and dad fight live on air.
Sloane's so smart. Sloane says she knocked on our door. And she's like, maybe we're live. I'll jump on and tell them. She's so smart. Oh my goodness. We're drinking.
Drinks in the pool might be to fix my backyard
you.
now.
It's not that bad. It's just an inflatable pool, but still, I don't want to bust from.
Thanks, Andrew Fox.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
That's a $300 water bill.
I mean, we're not going to any amusement parks this
and-
summer, but say,
And I'm only smiling because I'm dying on the inside, really. That's the only reason why.
I mean, I think you can go to the utilities and tell them that you filled up a pool, and they do like a one-time thing. But
are serious? What?
Tina, don't lie to me and then I get
I'm
all
not.
discouraged.
I'm not. Look it up.
Okay, I'll look it
But
up.
it's probably over a certain amount. Yeah, they actually like. It's because we live in Woodford County and the per capita is rich, and you gotta give rich people some stuff.
Have they seen
Wow,
my inflatable
thank you,
pool?
Tina.
Have you ever read an omnibus on the beach? Yes. Incredible Hulk by Peter David. I couldn't wait to open it and read it.
Oh,
When we were in Key West this past January. Omar, you better start building that house and then books.
Would you pretend not to hear your your friends' parents fighting?
It makes for an awkward show.
Oh, brother.
Somebody said Tina is the smart
Yeah.
one. Yes,
yeah.
Tina is
that's why she
smart.
wears the glasses.
SMRT. I am the smarts.
I also talk pretty.
Yeah,
She
how
does.
pretty.
She does.
One day.
2 pools, trips to Key West. Omar's a damn yuppie.
It's an inflatable pool.
I made sure to tell them that.
We're not going anywhere.
I'm pretty sure they kind of guess when you're like, oh, the pool's filling up with our water hose.
Yeah, that's true.
Who else can't wait to see the live action Mulan? Hey, Amanda's not here to piss her off, man. She's the only one that gets troubled by that. Sensational She-Hulk any good? Yeah, absolutely. It's probably one of John Byrne's best runs on that book. Melanie right now is reading the
I'm reading Dan
Dan
Slott's.
Slott's run.
Did you read that, Maddie?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's so good. It's fun.
There's an
It's
omnibus
just
coming
good,
later
wholesome
this year.
fun.
I'll pick up the omnibus
I
that
like
comes out.
her.
I've read
Yeah.
all of the newer She-Hulk, but not the older She-Hulk.
Yeah, I like that. Did you take Omni to the honeymoon, yes or no? You did on the plane.
Yep, Daredevil and something else. And I remember in Japan,
Something you
people were
couldn't-
looking at me like, what is he reading? They were trying to figure out what I was reading. They were kids trying to figure out what I was reading, and I kept showing them pages. And I didn't want to freak their parents out.
I don't
By this
remember that.
strange man talking to their kids. DD by Wade or Bendis, where should I start? Wherever you want, brother. Those Bendis books are back in stock. Wade is still in print. But if you really want my honest opinion, you can probably get Bendis, and then Brubaker, and then Wade. Debating on getting the Dan Slott's run. It's a good run.
I like it. I've read the first 2 volumes. Oh wait, are we talking about She-Hulk?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I've read the whole thing. It's just it's fun. It's not like it's not an easy read per se. There's lots to read, but it's not difficult either. It's a medium read. I don't know.
Omar read She-Hulk as soon as she threatened to rip up his... That was the joke. If you don't buy my comic this time, I'm coming over to rip up all your X-Men comics. And then when it got canceled, the final issue said, that's it, I'm coming over. Let's see.
About
Hi,
Right
Omar.
here.
Love your work on omnibus overviews. I'm French, and we don't have a lot of omnibuses here, so I read them in English. Do you know if Marvel will release the Amazing Spider-Man by Volume 1 by JMS? Did that not ever come out over there? I know some places didn't get it because I know it's out of print. I do know that. I'm sorry. I wish I knew more information, but that's all I know right now. How can Omar take an omnibus on honeymoon? That's rabbit season. It's Bugs Bunny.
it's boring on a plane for 13 hours.
Yeah. I didn't take Berserk with me, but I did take Daredevil by Frank Miller omnibus.
How about see
Maddie can read a lot. Yeah, Maddie
I
and
mean, she's
Tina.
gonna read in one day. And Tina, I know you don't read that many
I-
comic books, but how many
I
do you
read
think you could
fast.
read?
Oh, I could read fairly fast. Like I am not opposed to saying that I have literally read quite a lot before jumping onto a show with Maddie, like within the hour.
Same.
Here you go,
You
Maddie.
too, I swear.
Good. I'm glad. My love story is seriously my favorite shoujo.
Beastars is so good.
Beastars is so good.
It is so
Omar-
good.
Omar, Melly, have you guys watched Beastars yet?
Mm-mm.
Guys,
I'm still trying to get them
what
to
are you
watch My
doing?
Hero.
watch Beastars.
Wait,
I mean,
rewatch. I stick to the things I like, not on purpose, but we're rewatching
Man.
Sailor Moon from the beginning
I
because
need you to
My girls
watch
like it.
Beastars.
And
Just the two of
cycles
you
around
without,
to
without
what's
your
wrong.
children.
okay, is it not
But
child appropriate?
no,
No.
please watch Beastars though. It's very good.
Yeah.
But watch
No.
it by yourself.
We did watch Castlevania. We were liking that. The Castlevania
yeah.
animated
It's
series.
really good.
Oh, God, I love Beastars.
Mhm.
And my love story's perfect. I've got like charms and stuff from that. I just, so good.
Do you know where I could get this Amazing Spider-Man online? The only places right now that I know have it are third-party sellers on Amazon and eBay. Sorry, that's it. It's just because when something goes out of print, you can't. You know, sadly, people take advantage of that and raise the prices. But the second season of Castlevania was weak. I liked it. I thought it came together rather well. I've heard the third season's awesome.
Yeah, the second season kind of took a weird arc that I wasn't expecting. It doesn't follow very closely because I'm wondering where his it just doesn't follow the original canon games.
And that's okay.
It made me play Castlevania.
Yeah, she
Symphony
played
of the
Symphony of the
Night.
Night.
It was a lot of fun. Couldn't do it without saving states every 5 minutes, but
Oh man, once you get to the inverted castle, it gets kind of tough.
Sorrow, did you have a question, or did you just feel ignored today? Because if you're feeling ignored, I'm sorry. I hope things get better. I feel ignored all the time. By society.
Man, and I still feel worried about that pool. I can't believe
It's fine. We'll take care of it after.
Yeah,
it's gonna cost so much.
Looking through, trying to find out if they do allow a certain write-off for it.
Guys,
I can't
it's fine.
find it.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Okay, I'll shut up about
Melanie,
it.
if you could create an amalgam character, this is more of an important question. Who would you characters be? I said Rogue and Power Girl last time because she would look damn fine. And
Oh, was I supposed to think about it?
yeah,
She-Hulk and Wonder Woman.
Oh, sorry, Lionheart.
all right,
Oh,
She-Hulk
sorry,
and Wonder.
yeah.
No, go ahead. That's a good one.
Yeah, because I could see
She-Hulk
her.
and who?
Wonder Woman. Like, I could
Oh,
see
okay.
She-Hulk taking, like, on the Wonder Woman, like, mantle.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool.
What about you, Tina?
Domino and Jubilee.
Those are Marvel characters. Pick a
I know.
DC one.
I can't.
She doesn't know any DC.
Yes, she does.
Wait.
She's got
For
this.
DC,
Come on now.
Poison Ivy.
Okay. And Jubilee.
Hey, remember when Jubilee and Robin? Anyways,
You got comments like this, Melanie. Tough Water was a flat rate charge.
Power Girl.
Gosh, that said Power Girl plus She-Hulk.
Damn, that would be one fine looking honey. Like, I'm surprised you went with Wonder Woman instead of Big Barda. Because Big Barda and She-Hulk would look pretty good too.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Right?
I
Anyway.
love Big Barda.
You know, whenever I read Amalgam, I always think of Undertale and the Amalgams. I don't know why, but that is the definition for me now. Anyway. Yeah, Stargirl is good. Oh, we have it.
So
Forgot
I need to
about
catch- I've only seen the first episode. I need to catch up.
Oh, guys.
Thank you, Eddyville. He said, Omar, sorry.
And Gmail,
I just wanna
yes.
say thank you for the
I
advice
have
about the pool.
it pre-ordered. So.
Last of Us 2? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited, but also bummed because I remember picking up the first Last of Us right when it came out, but I beat it within a week. So then I just I just returned it, and so I know we'll spend this a ton of money and just beat this game with 2 days.
Did you but did you also do the extra stuff like the side stories?
It wasn't
don't
out back then
Yeah.
when I had done it.
The old
Ooh.
downloadable content.
Yeah,
Jason Todd and Winter Soldier.
Huh.
that makes sense.
That's
Yeah, that
practically
actor.
the same character. Absolutely. I get that. Zatanna and Magic or Zatanna and Clem. Yeah. Great choices. Is Stargirl on HBO? It is not. Right now it's only on the DC app and CW,
The CW app.
Yeah.
So right now, yeah, if you want a free way to watch it, you can watch it on the CW app. They always keep the latest 5 episodes up there. There is a bit of a difference because CW does cut Stargirl a little bit because of they have to make room for commercial times,
What?
whereas DC doesn't. And also, I think some of the more risque content may be cut.
You had me at risk.
Thank you, Tim Meyer.
Well, I mean, as far as the violence and things, I don't know how much they're actually able to put in on CW versus DC where there's not a restriction.
Gotcha. So Rob is saying, I don't get it. How is Wolverine Omnibus coming out this summer? But I got my copy back in February. It's coming out this summer because it got caught up in the pandemic. So not enough copies were released to the distributors.
Or it fell through a wormhole
Or it fell through
into your lap. And,
The one that comes out in September could have a different spine. That's what I was saying. It could be the curved spine instead of the flat spine.
Yeah, really good question. So DC just finished the New 52 based animated universe with Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, which, spoilers, I guess, for how that kind of works out. But basically, yeah, the animated universe there has an opportunity for rebirth, which, because right now it's been a long continuous, like, canon in the animated movies for DC, which are fantastic. If anybody at home hasn't seen them, I recommend it. I don't know if they're gonna do rebirth based. I think it'd be a smart idea because they could then bring in like super sons and things like that. I think there's some fun characters and stuff and stories they could bring in. And it's time for, I think, for the animated universe to have its own kind of rebirth as well.
Has the JSA shown up in animated at all? You keep up with it more than I do.
No.
Okay. Damn, they have been MIA since Flashpoint.
And maybe they will. With like the popularity of like Stargirl coming out and stuff too.
I'm hoping that means books will be reprinted and things like that. Are Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four Omnis coming back? We don't have a list yet. Right now, last week Marvel started working on reprints, and I put up a poll on our Facebook, and we'll be doing the same thing on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram as to what one omnibus people want reprinted from Marvel to kind of get a gauge of like what people want, and I'll share that with Marvel. I also shared them the out of print list.
Jack's trying to fight me.
Oh, between you and Amanda, he knows what buttons to push. He comes at me with my age. See, Omar 65.
I've noticed that.
He finds your kryptonite, man. He goes right for the jugular. DC needs to reprint the out of print trades. They have a lot of like the Question, Suicide Squad, and Secret Six. Yeah. I agree with you. I don't know if they will or not.
I have been really thankful for DC Universe because I've always been sleeping on it as far as like reading comics on it. Mm-hmm. But I've started reading comics on there on my desktop.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's pretty nice. It's way easier to use than like Marvel. And even though they don't have as much stuff on there, there's a lot of stuff like that I could never have access to. Like that it's either out of print or like uncollected.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's awesome.
I'm gonna do a review in a flash of Who Are the Secret Six from DC, the new version, right? Like the new Secret Six. It's really good. It was a lot of fun.
Superman
yeah,
book.
It was a lot of fun.
Omar, please tell me if you think Marvel will resolicit Uncanny X-Force in previews, or there will just be new stock. It'll just be new stock. It won't be resolicited, so it won't have a new ISBN or anything like that. So just keep keeping an eye on it, and email Cheap Graphic Novels, email IST. They don't know either. And I mean, if the head of the collected department at Marvel doesn't know when he'll come back, but is coming back, then I'm sure nobody else will. Okay, so this was what I ignored. I'm sorry, Sorrow. There was a lot of questions. My question was, regarding the Crisis on Infinite Earths, do you believe DC will print a single omnibus covering the story? The box set is 1,000 pages, and we already have the Omnis over 1,500 pages. Well, it's not an omnibus, but it is a deluxe hardcover, right? So that's all you need. It's 12 issues. And it's in oversized format, so it is it's the size of an omnibus, just not as thick. Like, because all the other stuff you really don't need, honestly. I thought about it. Like, mapping it would be near impossible, because what do you collect? Do you collect the new Teen Titans that lead up to it? Do you collect all the Red Sky stuff? Because I think they did a good job with that in the box set. But the box set is also not oversized hardcovers. They're standard size hardcovers. And there is your long-winded answer.
Oh, it wasn't.
I'm going to have to jump off because I need to upload this video and stuff. So.
Okay. Thanks for joining
us.
Bye,
Maddie.
Bye.
Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, Maddie.
Yeah.
Ring that bell for notifications.
I live here. It's fine.
Did you like Wonder Woman by John Byrne, Omar? It was okay. I think one of the best things he did was introduce us to the character of Cassie, right? Who ended up becoming Wonder Girl. Of course, she looked a lot different with her black hair back then, and braces and glasses. So, should I get the upcoming Infinite Crisis Omnibus? Already have the trade paperback. To me, I upgraded because I love that story. I don't get every omnibus. I don't get every absolute. It has to mean something to me. So Infinite Crisis is like my favorite event. And that's why I got it. And I love the way that it's mapped. They mapped it properly, including the one shots in between the issues and the new Teen Titans like annual number 2. The mapping is phenomenal in that omnibus. 35th anniversary Crisis on Infinite Earths has the history of the DC universe. Yeah, and that's been left out of so much. The Marv Wolfman and George Perez history of the DC universe. It's not like it's very long, but no one believes you don't get every omnibus, Omar. I don't have like the Ex Machina omnibus. I don't have the Why the Last Man omnibus. I don't get all of them. The hardcovers are fine enough. What Wonder Woman omnibus should I get the wife? I really
Maddie
have no
could answer
idea.
that.
Oh, Maddie could have done it. Uh, what's an easy one to jump into? You know what? I'm gonna say the Brian Azzarello run. Even though it's New 52 and it's more of a horror story, I think it's a much easier jumping on point. Now, if Greg Rucka's ever got a run, that would be awesome. Get the Rebirth hardcovers. What'd you find out, Tina?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trolling on Ami. I just found out that the Mokshin for Hikaru is going on to pre-order. It's like $232.
The what?
The Mokshin, her.
Oh, the robot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Omar, don't you own the Death of Superman Omnibus 3? Shut up, Jack. Yes, I do. I don't own every one though. See, I thought about saying George Perez reboot for Wonder Woman, but it's so wordy and it's so different. And I love it. I think it's a great run, and I think it's a great reboot for the character. But I also realized, like, if he wants to get it for his wife, I don't know if she would appreciate the form of storytelling that Perez did in that book. But anyway, that's just my opinion. But that was a close second.
Lol. Cricket.
There are 2 Omnis you don't own. I stand corrected. That's right. And then, of course, Michael's adding, stop standing corrected, Matthew. Sit corrected. It's more relaxing.
Mr. Awesome suggested Gail Simone Wonder
That's
Woman.
a good run, too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good run.
Hello.
Okay,
Hello,
hello
sweet.
baby.
Hi.
Omar, how
Hello.
essential...
Shh. Okay. You go play.
Go play in the pool that we have in the backyard.
It's
How
swept away. It's
essen-
probably still overflowing.
Oh, how essential is Countdown to Final Crisis? I have all the trays. We'll probably read them. 0. Literally 0 essential. Like, you don't need it because it was sold to make it seem like all of this is leading into a big event, and it's like Grant Morrison didn't even read any of it. He was like,
Oh.
whatever. Just like you don't need Death of the New Gods, because Morrison did his own thing. The only really essential reading you need to do for Final Crisis, I would say, is either Fourth World by Jack Kirby and the Batman Rest in Peace. Maybe Seven Soldiers of Victory. Pretty much anything Morrison worked on at the time. unless, unless you have something to add to DC leaving Diamond go play in the pool.
Oh.
My baby. She likes to see herself on camera.
She does.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that pool turned into a lake?
The lake summit. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a big swamp in the backyard now. Essential at all? Had no tie-ins at all. Absolutely. Actually, I break it back. Best Wonder Woman run is Greg Rucka. I agree with that 100%. But it's not an omnibus, so you could get the 2 oversized hardcovers for the deluxe editions of Rebirth. Omar is ready for that Marvel Jamas omnibus. No, or the Chuck. No, I will buy an X-Men Chuck Austin omnibus. 100%. What's the release date for Excalibur omnibus? I believe that's in December, if I'm not mistaken. New Mutants is November and Excalibur's December. Yeah. Next up in Omar's house, Swamp Thing entered. Omar has a lagoon in the back. Y'all get to find out much more than I anticipated today on this stream. Tina, what have you been reading lately?
Just manga. Like I've been
Yes, I
catching
know
up.
what titles.
So I've been Vigilantes, which is the My Hero Academia side story. So
Okay.
I've caught up with that one. That one's really good. You
That's the
shouldn't be
villain
reading-
side, right?
No, so it's Vigilantes, exactly what the title is. So it's about those stuck between the hero and the villain. So those that are not licensed, but essentially want to do good deeds, but then they kind of are outside the law.
Gotcha. Okay. And what else did you read?
My Hero Academia, I've also caught up to The Promised Neverland, which is getting really exciting. They've kind of overthrown everything. Spoilers. I'm also reading My Hero Academia, which is, of course, and then One Piece. Those have been, and then I'm catching up with Seraph of the End, which is still ongoing.
This is a good question. I'm not laughing at you. So from Philip is asking, I was a bit late to the show. Does DC leaving Diamond, there will be no more big discounts? I think that's what I was alluding to earlier. If you want to go back and watch it, you can. I did a whole spiel. But let me just give you a just a little bit of what the retailers are thinking. Right now, Mile High Comics, you can go online, is having a big 50% off DC books, back issues. The code word is DC sucks, all in caps. So that's how retailers are feeling about this whole thing.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them are taking a strong stance. I don't know if they'll be boycotting DC, but a lot of them have said they would. I see JLI Omnibus Volume 2 in November. I can't wait. Me neither, brother. Me neither. I cannot wait for that. That was one of my most wanted Omnis, and the fact that they're actually doing it kind of surprises me, and it hasn't been canceled. Knock on wood. It's a good question for Tina.
Mm-hmm. I have not actually.
Have you read Genshiken? That's the manga. Don't they have a manga within that manga? When I say it's like about manga creators. Sean, I can't remember. Omar, have you heard anything about the release date for the upcoming Tarzan the Bushima years? No, Omnibus. I didn't know that was a thing. Who's publishing it? Hi there. IST still doing. What's up, Joe Cool? I still doing 42% off DC. That's a big discount, right? Yes, it is. Whether that continues or whether that's as big as it gets and we don't get 50% off, that's all up in the air right now. I think that's what most people. And of course, that affects just America, right? Like, you guys in Europe and Canada have always paid more. In Australia, don't want to leave you guys out, or wherever you're from. Somebody called me out for leaving out Australia one time, so I don't want to do that again.
Oh, no, I wasn't laughing at that. Sorry.
Okay, but it seems like you guys have always paid more than we do here in America. So, Omar, do you own a copy of me? No, is it on Laserdisc? We have it on DVD.
Rob, does he still collect laser discs? I doubt he'll get Meatballs Part 2, but...
Yeah, we pay more in Mexico, and then Michael's saying in Canada our prices suck very much. Mexico's expensive. New Zealand! My bad, brother. New Zealand as well. Right. You guys are already paying prices, so it's more for us, and they're so sorry you were replying back to somebody. It's more for us that are used to this, like, huge discounts that we've been pampered with. Those things might change for us here in America. Not 100% sure.
Matthew says I look blue.
You look blue?
Thank you.
Oh, it's the headset, isn't it?
What? No, because send me a virtual hug. Because I'm still... That's why I started cross-stitching, so I could calm down about the pool.
Omar Genshiken has an anime and manga. I'm gonna have to fight you for this, Melanie, like I do with Amanda. What is it?
Fight me? I'm not doing anything. Did I hit that?
Yes.
Well, I was.
Omar Genshiken has an anime, manga, and a manga and anime. That's what I thought.
Yeah, and I've heard about it, but I haven't picked it up.
X-Men reprints in 2020, 2021, Spider-Man reprints. I think that's what they're gonna do, but that's just me thinking that. Talking about Injustice Volume 2 coming out. Volume 1 out of print. Yep, it's out of print. That sucks. But I don't know if it's out of print, with the new distributors. A month's standard salary in Indonesia could afford 2 Omnis.
Oh no.
Gosh.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at the inappropriate times because these things stink for these people. Um, yes, Bavarian Rev. Thank you. He's got a copy of Meatballs too on Betamax.
Do you really?
That's amazing. If
Hook
that's
me
true.
up, brother.
Oh man.
All right, Tina. Let's dive into this
Yeah.
one. Melanie, you too. First, any recommendations for my first manga?
What are
Now,
you into?
don't. Oh,
That's
I really hope to come back with like I'm into tying chicks up.
as Rob would say,
Well,
phrasing.
There's manga for that.
There is a manga for
There,
that.
there is. I got a text from Omar the other day. What's
No, you don't have to share that story.
what would you
Wait,
consider
I
etchy,
want to hear the
basically?
story.
Would you consider boobs etchy? And I was like, wait, and I got it like the
Etchy?
next day.
Is that for your story, baby? You gotta delve into the character. Or boobs itchy?
Etchy.
Oh, etchy. I heard itchy.
Pervert it.
Oh.
It depends on what you're into.
I
So
agree.
if you like shoujo, there's going to be different titles. If you like shonen, there's going to be different titles. And I would say start with
Well,
something
being that it's
has
his
ended.
first manga, hold on. Being that it's his first manga, I don't know if he'll know the difference between shonen and show,
That's true. That's
right?
true.
So,
Yeah.
Right. So do you like romantic stories? Do you like more adventure?
what's up, John De La Rosa? Sorry, that's the last one. Last one. I swear.
Mm-hmm,
Go ahead. I'll shut up now.
No, it's okay.
I can't do that. How do
So
you do that
I
head
would,
thing?
if
Tina? I
you're
can't
into comics, if you're into comics, I would really suggest right now My Hero Academia. It is one of those bigger titles, and I keep harping on this, but you'll see a lot of common themes and parallels to comic industry or comic world, like with superpowers. But this is sort of like a Japanese or a manga take on it.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
And if you want something that's not so deep in right now, Vigilantes is really good too.
It really depends on what you like Tina was saying. I'm a sucker for recommending things like Berserk, Vinland Saga, Blade of the Immortal, and if you like love stories, Maison Koku's coming out with a collector's edition.
What?
So a collector set of that. coming out.
Cool.
On the latest solicitations, there was a manga called "Breasts Are My Favorite Thing." Edgy. By the way, I love that anime and manga has become the place to go for like creative porn names. So they're hentai, and I know this. I don't care. Whatever. It's Saturday. In America, like we used to have creative names for porn, right? Now it's everything is like not Avengers Triple X, not Justice League Triple X, not creative. Now anime has done that. One of my favorite titles I remember reading was I've never seen it. Uh, was Titty Titty Bang Bang. I almost wanted to buy that because just
Wait,
on
wait.
that title.
What about Cloudy with a Chance of My Balls?
That's from
That's
it's Horny
from,
with a Chance of My Balls, and that
Horny
was
with a
from
Chance of
30
Balls.
Rock.
I like that one.
Any thoughts on that, Tina?
Sorry, I was replying to a comment. Yes.
What are your
Your
thoughts?
comment is yes. Your thoughts are yes.
I
Yes.
know. I totally tuned Omar out. Sorry. What?
What the hell? You're not married to me. Here's a question for Tina. How many TikToks can you record in one day?
How many can I record? Over 100.
Shut up. In one day?
I have. I recorded 101 once. But that includes
Wow.
multiple takes of the same thing. And that is probably about 8 hours worth of work.
That's not good. Wowee. Because you got to do all the makeup too,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
If I'm in makeup, I'm not going to do it for 6 seconds and done.
No, completely. But okay, over 100. Is that just one costume?
Yeah.
Or oh wow.
Yeah, and a lot of them are just multiple takes. I will say so. Multiple takes of the same thing.
It's not like you're publishing 100.
No, it's not. And so I'll go through and rewatch which ones I like, and then I'll delete. So overall, probably I've gotten maybe about 45 usable takes.
Wow.
You put a lot of love into that, as much as I do in this channel and the videos. So I'm really proud of you for building.
Hey, I don't do it every day.
Yeah,
I do it
Yeah,
once every couple of weeks.
but it takes you a long time
a
to.
couple of people. Tina, can you explain TikTok? A couple of people are asking what it is.
So it originally started out as Musically. It's basically like a lip sync app. That's what a lot of people view it as, but it's a little bit more. It's more like a little longer Vine set to music. And people utilize it different ways now, especially that it's grown a larger, older audience. So it's
Dancing
download
too,
it as a
right?
joke, and you'll get really into it.
TikTok dances. I've seen
Yeah,
YouTube
so
videos of learn
there's
TikTok dances, and
There's different sides of TikTok, just like there's different sides of YouTube, depending on what you like and what you're into and what you constantly hit that like button on. They're going to gear you towards one or other. So there's like, dancing TikTok, there's cosplay TikTok, there's nerd TikTok, there's normal straight TikTok, there's gay TikTok.
DBC All Stars. I've got a special brain, Omar. I've written a Marvel parody porn comic and changed the names to example Silver Surfer's Platinum Pole Dancer. Now
that's
that
good.
I can get
That's
behind.
creative. Mm-hmm.
So just a few seconds ago, and I guess I can talk about it now because somebody broke the news. I was saying how I think Marvel will probably deal with this in a stealth situation with how they can, you know, just let the direct market know that hey, we're still here for you guys. Kind of like the way IDW literally sent out a message, changing some of the rules based on return policies and just for the direct market. So, yeah, Marvel is sending a huge discount of Omnis to the direct market, offering, I think there's a total of 32. So somebody else broke the news, and I can actually talk about it. I was talking to David about that, so it wasn't me, David. If you're watching this, if somebody else broke it now, I can actually mention it in the chat. So that's it's kind
You
of things
didn't
like
tell
that.
me.
I have to tell you everything, woman. You overflow my damn backyard. So I'm just kidding, baby. What the hell?
Broke your train of thought. I'm just saying, you were telling me all these things about David
Spinning out.
Gabriel while we were taking a shower together, and you did not mention that. So
Please don't do that. Don't do that. God bless. But what I was saying is that they're offering big discounts for the direct market, like people for these Omnis. Oh, so that's a good. I mean, it's things like that they'll do. So, Maison
cool.
Ikoku Collector's Edition pre-order, dude. You won't regret it. It's our favorite love story. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I do know I am in trouble.
Trouble.
Yep, that's on me. I should just. So I guess we'll see how things go tonight or the upcoming weeks. Not tonight. See where this takes us. Hopefully, as consumers, you all won't see much changes, but if you are into supporting your own comic book store and stuff, so you may want to help them out in different ways because it seems like, from their perspective, that DC isn't. So, really sucks. Yeah, tonight. Yeah, I was talking about something else. Don't like when mom and dad fight on the live stream.
That's how we flirt. That's all we do is fight.
That's all we do. The moment you realize when you're in the dog, I lost my damn train of thought. Omar, what tier is the gunsuit calendar? That's an Amanda level tier. We'll bring that up level.
Hey, Luis has a interesting tidbit of info.
Recently did a job interview with TikTok. They really collect a lot of data about you, maybe even more than Facebook.
You got to remember that they're a Chinese-owned company. They're going to do that.
Let me ask you something. Is it free?
Yes.
Okay. So
that might cost a little piece of your soul.
The way that I see it, I think this goes. It's actually my buddy Rob, the guy, one of our co-hosts. He told me this many years ago that whenever a product is free, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Google Drive, whatever, you are the product.
Mm-hmm.
And that speaks a lot.
That's
of
how they
truth.
make
So
money. I really don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care.
It's like Instagram. It's like Facebook. It's like TikTok. And I see a comment from TJ Clone. Why is the hashtag delete TikTok everywhere? You had that with Instagram. You had that with Facebook. People are going to rail about it because one company is not supporting this or doesn't come out, or they say one thing and then they do another. It's in general.
Morning, Jorge Nunez. Hope you're doing well, brother.
Wait a minute.
Keep an eye. I will say, here's a little tidbit. There is a store on eBay that sells them at discounted prices. So whenever they get those liquidated books, they usually sell them on their eBay store, and that's D Hatter. Thank you so much for the
But that would be unethical to take from the near mint condition fund, but thank you.
to help with the water
The
bill.
yawn is completely fine. We've got it's just the principle of the thing that I forgot. I hate that. It's just so ridiculous.
Where's the list of Marvel sell? Oh,
Yeah, other
you
people
know-
are asking for that too.
all right. I'm gonna throw Rich a bone.
You got it?
Well, no, it's because no,
you've got the
it's already.
list.
Well, David shared some of it with me, but I wasn't gonna.
Okay,
but
look.
now, look, go to
Quick
Bleeding.
business, you're not the same man because you're talking about David even in the show.
I'm not the same man. Bleeding Cool has the list of all 32 books, and I don't want to throw Rich a bone because he's stealing material from me from time to time and doesn't give me any credit. But yeah, he's got the complete list. Now, I'm not saying you'll find these at a huge discount, but if you keep an eye on eBay, D Header, that's the seller you want to keep an eye on. He usually takes these liquidated books and sells them, literally at a few more dollars than what he buys them. So, put that link in the chat. Yeah, if somebody could do us the honors. Not me. It's Bleeding
Talking about
Cool.
me? Huh?
Somebody else. Omar, X-Force Omnibus Volume 1 versus Uncanny X-Force Omnibus Volume 1. Ooh. Well, honestly, Uncanny, But I like X-Force has a soft spot right here in my heart. Now, X-Force by Colin Yost versus Uncanny X-Force. X-Force by Colin Yost, 100%. Look, you already got the pitch, man. Fraction of the original price. Huge discount. Pennies on the dollars. That's right. Pennies on the dollars. Which online media is really, really trustworthy, guys? Facebook. You believe everything Facebook has. They do this thing called fact checking.
Twitter, maybe.
Shit. I don't know. Omar, don't know if
There.
baby.
There.
Okay. Omar, don't know if you check Newsarama, but have you seen their new layout of their site? It's awful. I haven't. I will be 100% honest with you guys, and I think I've shared this on the show before. Is that I really don't have the time to go look elsewhere for things. I don't watch videos anymore like I used to. I just don't. I would rather create my own thing and reply back to you all than to go and read, catch up on what Newsarama's doing or Bleeding Cool's doing. But yeah, so I don't know if you're being serious or not, Jack, but because you've been on my live chats, like every one of them for some reason, we missed you on Was It Really That Bad, by the way. Amanda and I were like, somebody's not busting our balls today. Oh, Jack's not here. It is not out of. It is temporarily out of print, but that one is coming back. Like it's going to be restocked. So there you go. What was the name of the eBay store? Here, I'll type that out. It's D Header. D Header's the guy you want to look for. He's the one that will have the deals. I myself have bought many books. Like back when they used to be liquidated heavily, I would get some of these Omnis for like $30 or so. Not sure that's what you'll get. Muppet Omnibus is Muppet Omnibus on there? I didn't see it.
Wait, Muppets had an on what?
Oh, the Muppet Babies Omnibus is on there though.
Oh, never mind.
Tina? Omar cooked for you?
Yeah, when we first started going over to your guys' house,
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, Omar cooked.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah, you haven't
like,
cooked in a long time,
like
baby.
really amazing meals. And then he was like, "Oh, now I'm friends with you guys. Let's drop this."
But yes.
I'm getting you bitch asses some McDonald's. I'm done cooking.
I'm the
Man,
one that
we were over like every night for
That
like
was a lot of fun.
when we first met you
yeah,
guys.
that's been around. I'm the one that is more concerned about dinner. Not that I'm that great cook at all. It's very simple stuff. But
Where can I
yeah,
find the list of 32
can't wait to have you
Omnis?
over for dinner again someday.
You know.
That list is on Bleeding Cool. Is what the Bleeding Cool's website. He let Rich have his heyday. Omar's the best. Thank you,
Yeah.
Brian. He doesn't have to reply to all the comments, but he does. Where a lot of channels don't bother replying. I like getting to know you guys, and I like talking to people about the same things I'm into. So if I have time now, it's gotten to be like I get a lot more comments than I used to. Um, but I still try to reply back as
And I asked him to set aside like
she
a
did.
block of time instead of constantly replying as comments come in, to help with his sanity and also attention on me. And but so if you have to wait a day, that's why, right? Because that's good for your mental health.
Yeah, I think it's good to set a time aside. Let's see, Omar. Do you think we will see less of the creator-centric omnis now that David has heard the collector's insight on how do omnis not skipping issues and all? I think so, because like I feel comfortable enough with my relationship with Marvel and David that I can now speak up. Whether he says okay or not, it's ultimately up to him. But like Excalibur, I was not happy with the fact that they were doing the Chris Claremont and Alan Davis run. I said I think it would sell just as well if there was a volume one. So I felt comfortable enough to tell him that, and he agreed. So I think, if I ever see some content, like that's what I wanted to do with JLA, right? I wish there was that kind of connection that I had at DC, but there's literally no one. I've sent out my concerns, and I'm like I'm speaking for 99% of the. Because I know there are some people that are happy with the mapping, but I'm like I'm speaking for like 99% of the consumers. Like they won't, like a lot of people won't buy this book unless it contains everything. But nobody ever replied back. So.
People were thanking you in the comments, baby.
Oh, you guys, thank you all. Thank you all for joining me. It's a lot of fun. I like doing these Saturday shows. Omar, sorry if I'm getting on your origin story wrong, but how old were you when you came to the U.S.? I was 15 and learned so many words from reading comics. I was 9, 10. I always have to do the math. I was 8, turned 9 here in America. So it was 87, 1987, January of 1987. One of the first books I bought off the Hex. I don't know if no, probably nobody remembers that store. That my mom and dad, not me, bought me when we were in grocery shopping. Was my very first American comic bought here in America. Because most of the time I would have my uncle send me books, like a care package once a year with a bunch of comics that would last me like a day or two to read. Or to try to read, because I didn't read English. But it was one of the Mutant Massacre storylines. I think it was like 213. So it's the cover with like Wolverine against Sabretooth by Alan Davis.
That's
Omar
not the
was
one I meant to
58
show.
when we first came here. I'm afraid by the time they do this, I'll be dead, and everyone will say when asked, but what they knew about me. He wanted a Spider-Man by Stern reprint that goes on my tombstone. No, we're gonna get that, man. We'll get that, dude. Yeah. You ain't gonna get that old. Do you believe in aliens? Sloan, you should be go help your mom with the yard. Go come and help my daughters clean up this yard. Omar, will you come to the BS it? Tina, can you please help me? What is that? Is that something you kids are saying these days? Okay, Tina's lost too. Thanks to David Gabriel too. Absolutely, 100%. He's the one that gets to make the call. So I can suggest things, whether they listen or not. Ultimately, it's up to him. Omar, talk to David and convince him that Marvel needs to launch a European imprint for collected Omnibus, something like Blueberry or Comanche. Oh my god! Okay, if I make him do that, you gotta ship me the Blueberry Omnibus. Deal? If that happens, because I've been wanting to read those, and there's nothing here except for like 3 or 4 books. Tina, have you read any comedy slice of life manga like Grand Blue Dreaming?
Yeah, I was trying to think of slice of life, and I do. And the problem with slice of life for me is it is great, sort of one-offs, but I never remember the titles because they didn't really make too much of an impact for me. And I was trying to think of, like, I've read Sweetness and Lightning, which is one of them, and that's a more recent one that I read. Cheese Sweet Home is a favorite to go back to.
Yeah,
but I have not.
That.
I haven't read Grand Blue Dreaming, so in comedy ones, I mean. Yeah, here and there.
I like boring manga from time to time. Seriously. Slice of life. In anime,
that's Miyazaki movies. That's why I like
every one of those Miyazaki movies.
Just slow, beautiful movie that makes you feel like you're there. Nothing's really going on. I love it.
Sledge, I'm going to hold you to that. Deal. Okay. I'll ask. And guys, we're getting on the 2-hour mark, and I don't want to keep anybody else from here. And I'm sure you're probably tired of my voice, and I know Tina is. So thank you, all of you for joining us. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Not sure why you haven't subscribed yet. If you're watching us for 2 hours, check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com. They have great deals, and they'll probably be, putting up some more when these books show up, these liquidated books from Marvel. So we're going to be busy cleaning up our backyard.
It's not bad. I'm just mad about the money.
We need an update on the pool first.
Somebody's asking you to do a live show with Curtis about
Epics?
2021. Yeah, something.
Absolutely.
But Epics won't release in 2021.
Yeah, I love Curtis. He's a great guy, and we have a lot of fun when we get on shows together. So yes,
but we are Omar. Right now, we're gonna go get in the pool before we play Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, let's go.
Shut up.
We have 1 hour.
1 hour.
So
go.
everybody, please hit like. I did that already. Check out our Patreon. Great ways to support the channel. Tina, any words before I sign us off?
Start reading more manga, guys. You'll enjoy it.
Okay, there we go.
It is. Go back and forth between.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and-
Oh, old reader, new reader will be this Sunday at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. By the way, so we're doing Superman Red Sun, and we will come back to our regular Tuesday schedule this Tuesday coming up. So you'll be having us almost back to back. We didn't want to miss a show because we really wanted to talk about these books. So for those that have reached out to me and asking when we're coming back, it is Sunday at 8:00. Superman, it'll be live. Red Sun. Join Amanda, Maddie, and myself. And everybody stay healthy, stay safe out there. Much love to all of you.
Stay busy.
That's not